Hey y'all, welcome to part 2. So this is, where's my little sign here? Oh, we don't need that. My How Do You Do art project for May 2025. I did a little bit of prepping. So I have a video uploading right now. And I explained that this part of the process was videoed, but you're not going to see that because I forgot to move the camera so you could see the sewing machine. So all you see is my arms across the table. So part 1 that's uploading right now, we did some stencil painting with stencils. Oh, I just realized that that's not even, oh, okay. That's okay. So what I'm going to do is, I already clipped it together just to make sure that I had it in the right spot. So this has batting in between these layers here. And in order for this inside fabric not to buckle, I need to just put down a few lines. And I'm just going to put straight lines. And I might have to dab a little bit more paint over top. It depends on where the lines from this side is going to hit on that side. So let's just move this a little bit closer. All right, if you see any mess, don't look. Okay, so we're just going, okay, I'm going to actually start in the middle here, and the reason for that is if you start at the end, you have more of a chance of your fabric moving than when you start in the middle. So I need to change stitches here. Okay, so we just want a regular straight stitch, and we're just going to go all the way across. And I'm trying to stitch in the ditch, which what that means is where the two pieces of fabric meet together. And it's not exactly in the ditch, but that's okay, because there's other stitch lines there, so you're not really going to see them anyway. And we're not going to pick that needle up. We're just going to move the fabric so we can go down this way and then come around here. And I'm not pushing this fabric through. I'm just holding it with my hands to guide it to make sure that it stays in the right place. And this is the part where it gets tricky. So I need to fold that up a little bit so I can put it, this is called the throat of the machine. So I need to make sure that that fits right there. So I can then turn it around this way. And we don't need these anymore. I don't know if you can see, but the, how's the best way to do that? I guess we'll go this way. You can see that the jean part is actually overlapping just a little bit, and that's fine because we're going to trim that off so we can bind the edges with some other fabric, so it's not, I got too much stuff right here, so the raw edges don't show. I got way too much stuff to the left of me. afraid to clean my desk though, because that's when I lose stuff. Okay, so we need to come all the way down towards the top. And that's okay if we're going over stitches again. That's not really going to matter. And so we're going to go right here. Let's see, where's that land? Okay, we don't necessarily need to go through both of these. I was just trying to fill up some space with that. So we're just going to go on this row here. And now I am just going to go all the way around to make sure. Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't need to go. Okay. No, we don't need to go that way. We need to roll this up and go this way. And then I think that we should have all of this then sewn. Yeah. And this is just for precaution. And one more little spot. Let's fold this up here. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, okay. Okay, so we're just gonna put it back down and then just go, okay. Okay, I'm gonna start a little bit forward and then go back and go forward again. And now we should be where we already were. So, let's see. Okay, actually that's not too bad. Can't really, you can see it a little bit if you're kind of really looking, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm not going to forget to move the camera this time. But what we're doing is, I already prepped this because I had to put interfacing stabilizer in there, and my iron is behind me over here to my left. And so I just folded that down, or well, I ironed the interfacing on and then I folded it down. And the reason I did it that way is so I have a nice clean edge at the top here. And also it gives it a little bit more stability because it's now got 4 layers, interfacing and fabric and interfacing and fabric. And I tried to square off my corners as good as possible. Oh, you know what? I should have put this on first. I didn't think, oh, I forgot about that. Okay, well, we're gonna have lines on the outside, so I'm just going to, let's see, make sure that that's on there straight. I can't believe I forgot about that. It's been one of those days, y'all. Okay, so now we're gonna go back up here. And I just pinned that in place where I want it to be. I was gonna use a different, you know what, I don't need that actually. It's making my fabric bunch up. I was gonna use a different pocket right here, but it was the little coin pocket from the side of your jeans, but I didn't leave enough around the edges. so that I could actually have a decent amount of fabric to sew on here. Because it kept getting caught up on those little rivet things. Okay, now let's see how bad that looks on the front. Okay, that's not too bad. I mean, it's definitely noticeable, but if I put something on the cover, which I don't know if I will or not, but okay, let me pull you up a little bit. So what I'm gonna try and do is see if I can pull these threads through, so I can tie it off right there. Okay. So now the thread that was on the front is now on the inside. And so we're just going to tie a knot. And one more for good measure. And now there's no thread on the other side right there. And it makes it clean. Just sometimes it's kind of hard to find that thread, so I'm actually going to pause you for a second while I try and dig that out to pull it on this side. Okay, I was able to get that, and now that's nice and sturdy pocket. So now we have this one, and I did this off camera too because it was a little fiddly, but I think I might go over that one more time just around the edge because it looks like that's trying to come up. I was gonna try and make this like a double and then a triple pocket, but this will fray, and I didn't think about that until after I had already sewed this piece onto this and then onto that. So I had to go across the top there, so it's just going to be a double pocket. And so, oh, I hope that didn't make you dizzy. So I'm just gonna go back around here. And it's not really a straight line, but that's okay because it's a junk journal, right? I was trying to be able to get it in all those holes so you didn't see any of the holes on that side, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm gonna pause these so I can pull those out again. Okay, so I went around that again and then double stitched it and tied it back down. So I am going to put this, try and center it, because I do have binding to go around this, and I want to make sure that I'm going to have enough. So this is the binding. This is left over from a quilt that I made with the same fabric. So this is going to go right here, and now we're going to sew that into the top. So just so you know, I didn't do this part on camera because it involves a hammer. So if you've ever taken pockets off, you know how thick that fabric can be, and this is just a domestic sewing machine. And so I cut off some of the edge there and then folded it over. And then once I got it to where it was folded and it was in the place that I wanted it, I took a hammer and I hammered out the edges to make them flatter, all four of them. I think I'm off. Okay, no, I didn't get off. Okay. Okay. Okay, almost done. Okay, if I knew how to speed things up, I would. So let's go back down here. But I am, I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut those off. You know what? I think that was actually in the perfect spot. You're a little close. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's actually not too bad. Although, like I said, ideally, this would have been better if I would have sewn those on to begin with, which is what the plan was, but I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so what I need to do now is trim the edge of these off. And I am going to pause you, but I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. And I need to stand up for this. So you see how it's hanging over there, but it's not hanging over right there. So I'm just going to line that up, and it looks like it's not straight, but I made sure that this piece here was straight before I cut it. So let me just pause you real quick so I can just cut these with my rotary cutter. Okay, I'm back. So I just squared that up. Oh, I missed a spot here. Let's see. Will that cut that? Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I am going to put this around it. Oh. And so I'm going to show you how to bind a quilt. We're going to start on this side here. Okay, so this is left over from a quilt, and it is 3 inches wide, folded in half. And then when you get to a seam, like this one here, it's sewn together on the diagonal, because that way it leaves less bulk. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to start, let's see, where's the middle here? Okay, the middle is about right there. So I'm going to start, that's the front. Okay, I'm going to start about right here. You don't want to start exactly in the middle, because that's going to be folded and it'll be too bulky, and you don't want to start at the end, because then you won't be able to put it together correctly. So let me move this out of the way, because I don't need that right now. So I can pull this closer. And so this is going to be done the exact same way that you would bind a quilt. So oh, wait a minute. Let me put you down like this and see. So the best way to start that, let me put a few clips on here so it doesn't move. You want that to be at the edge, all the way down. And then this piece right here, we're going to pull it up and then fold this piece down. Let me get rid of that piece. Fold this piece down. Because it's going to sit right in there, and then that's how we're going to bind this to make it a clean seam. And I hope that I remember how to do this correctly, because every time I haven't done a quilt in a while, I'll forget. And I always go back to the same video, and I think I have it saved, but it's in a private list. So we're going to start here, and we're going to go forward, back, and then we're going to fold that down and make sure that's underneath. Oh, wait a minute, how did I do it before? Yeah, okay, I think I need to go a little bit farther. It's been a while since I've made a quilt. Why does that not look right? Oh, I know why it doesn't look right. Okay, so we need to pull that out a little bit and then go down. That's what I did wrong last time. Because we need to keep that side open in order to put the other end in there. And we're going to stop about 1/4 of an inch or so before you get to the end. And we're going to go backwards to secure that. And then you pull this towards you and then push it, or fold it away from you. Is that the right spot? No, I didn't do that right. This is why I miss making quilts, because I get out of practice. Although it's also not a decent angle. And there's a few different ways that you can bind a quilt. But this is the way that I know how to do the corners. Okay, so we're going to go in and start a little bit forward. And then we're going to go back so we can catch that end. Oh, I don't want my fabric is caught in there. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do all the way around. And since I don't know how to edit yet, I'm going to go ahead and pause this. And I'm going to turn it back on when I get to the other end so you can see how I close up that end. Okay, so I'm on the last corner, and it keeps doing that. Okay, so what it's doing is getting caught in the feed dogs there. Okay, so this is the reason why we didn't go all the way down with this. So we're going to make sure that that piece is tucked in there, and then we're going to take this piece and see where we started. We're going to cut it. Where's my scissors? We're going to cut this about right here, and then we can tuck this down here inside. And then you can see that this is now flush with that. And you just want to make sure that it stays where it's supposed to. Okay. Now we're almost done. So now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. Is then we just take this. I didn't exactly do that right, but that's okay because it's junk journal. And when we get to that corner, I will explain why it's not right. Okay, where is that end? Okay. So what we're going to do is fold it over in half. Let me put you down here real quick. Okay, we're going to fold it over in half, and then fold it over again. And we're going to do this all the way around. Okay, and the reason why this part is not right is because I did not fold that end under to give it a clean seam. So that piece right there might fray, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clip all the way around the end, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm at my last corner, and I folded this all the way in half, or I folded it in half, and then you put it down, and when you get to the corner, you fold in the one side that's closest to you, and you try and make this a nice, neat, mitered corner. There's a lot of stitching in here though, so it's not going to be as neat as I want, but it's going to be there, so that's all that matters. And then you lift up your foot and turn that. Okay, and you just make sure that this is where you want it. And you want to keep your needle as close to that edge as possible. And then back stitch when you get back to the end. So let me push this back and bring you back down here. And we're gonna cut off, let me see. Let me see if I need to pull those through. No, you know what I'm gonna do though, is I'm just going to maybe tie these ends here and cut off the extra pieces and then do the same on the front. That's not ideal, but it is a junk journal and it's not meant to be perfect. So I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. I guess it's a tutorial. If you want to see more sewing videos, let me know in the comments below, because I really do need to make some quilts, especially when I'm really busy, because then I don't really know where to begin. And sewing to me is very soothing. Okay, here we go. So I don't have any signatures ready yet, and so when I get some signatures together, I'll show you how I'm gonna do that, because it's going to be a hidden spine, and I already have that fabric set aside. So when I get to that point, then we'll turn the camera back on. Okay, but in the meantime, that's what it looks like. All right, there you go. All right, y'all. I hope everyone's having a great day and happy crafting.